Hey guys, it's Vinny.
And this is Joe.
We have been every week zeroing in closer and closer on what is Frieza's thoughts for the end of this Tournament of Power, because clearly he's not in this thing to lose. He's in this thing to win, and not just win as Team Universe 7 wins. He wants to be the last person standing, and if he's not, he wants to be granted the status of the greatest fighter of the Tournament of Power so that he can get the Super Dragon Balls and make the wish. Now, the key here is what is going on in Frieza's mind when it comes to the wish that he wants to make. It's a very important thing, because Joe and I, we're not just looking at Dragon Ball Super. We're looking at what's beyond Dragon Ball Super. We are so excited to continue to see this thing go further because the fans are ready. We don't want this to end now. We don't want it to end with this Tournament of Power. We want to see the next arc too. And we think no matter what the arc is, it's going to be important to know what the wish is going to be at the end of this Tournament of Power, because that's likely going to drive the next arc if there is one. So what if, now we're not saying Frieza is going to win, but of course he believes he's going to. So what is going on in Frieza's mind for what his wish is going to be? We've gotten some statements here and there. One of the statements early on, he was talking about Zeno.
Yeah, that he was going to rule over him one day. And knowing Frieza, he was having already a plan in his head of how is he going to do that? The Super Dragon Balls. So, and once again in this episode, he says he wants to rule over the gods. So really, we're seeing this, definitely this plan in his head of going to rule over all the gods, even Zeno. So are the Super Dragon Balls able to do that is a really big question as well. How powerful are they? And if he does have this ability, what is it going to lead to next? Now, other people are not sure what Frieza wants. Like, some of them thought he was going to destroy the God Destruction, and that's just silly. It's like, destroy Beerus, why does he need to do that? Frieza is thinking way more higher than that. I'm pretty sure, let's just say that the Dragon Balls aren't able to do that. He has a plan B as well. Frieza's not the guy who's like, I'm just going to stick with plan A, hopefully plan A works. Frieza's like, I'm going to also have a plan B and probably C, just in case if those other things don't work. So Frieza definitely is like planning this ahead, and he's also probably planning how is he going to win this. Obviously, he already has Goku versus Jiren in his head, so that's taken care of, and he's just probably watching the other people and like, how am I going to take them out if I need to in the future?
Now, Zeno is an interesting character to me because even in this last episode, he almost stated, there was a point at which he stated like, well, what happens at the end of this thing? Like, he's like presiding over it and didn't even know what was going to happen at the end of it. And he had to be reminded that by the Grand Priest that, well, you know, there's only one universe that's going to be remaining, and all the rest are going to be eliminated. So he's almost reminded of the rules themselves. I'm a little iffy on, does even Zeno know the power of the Super Dragon Balls and what they can do? I don't think he does. Yeah. So who really knows how powerful they are? I'm thinking the Grand Priest is probably the only one who truly knows exactly how powerful these Super Dragon Balls are. And there's always been, that like, could anyone, subvert Zeno? Could they subvert Zeno somehow and set Zeno up? Is that possible? Now, based off of his maturity, absolutely. On power, probably not. Zeno would overpower anybody. But what about the power of the Super Dragon Balls? What is Zeno's power in relation to the Super Dragon Ball's power? Is there sort of like a way to get through to Zeno going that direction? Is it possible that Frieza will find a methodology to get there somehow? We're not saying he is, but there's a possibility there, because I honestly think that Zeno doesn't really know, and there might be a door there for somebody to usurp Zeno's power, not power for power usurping it, but doing it through like a shady method like the Super Dragon Balls. It's possible, and that's clearly what Frieza's plan is at this point, is to rule over Zeno and the rest of the other gods. Whether that can happen is yet to be seen.
Yeah, and let's say it does happen. Just think about the next arc would have to be where everybody is like Frieza again. Frieza, we have to stop him. We have to get rid of him. And I would think this would be a multi-universe problem. It's not just Universe 7's problem. It's everybody's problem. And they're going to have to figure this out together. And it would be a very, very good arc, like to transition to that, because once again, it brings back Frieza, one of the greatest enemies of Dragon Ball series. And it also brings all the universes, maybe even ones that we don't even know about, into this as well and see what they are up to. It would be very cool because it just brings everybody and so much more information. I would love to see it.
I mean, there's so much hypothetical on it, but there's no doubt about it. If Frieza got the wish, that means Team Universe 7 wins. And that also means that Goku and the rest of the fighters in Universe 7 are still alive. And that means Beerus is still alive too. So it's likely in that case, if Frieza was able to do a wish so big that he could usurp the power of Zeno and the other gods, that Goku and Beerus would now have to go to all of the other remaining universes, the ones that were not in the Tournament of Power, and start to seek them out to come up with plans to eliminate the threat that Frieza is. And in that arc, you might end up finding that other means exist to get back the universes that were erased, possibly. Now, again, we're going so far out with this, but what we're saying here is the wish is so important. At the end of this Tournament of Power, whoever takes it, whatever universe wins, whatever fighter is deemed the greatest, their wish should and really will drive everything going forward. And of course, if Frieza is that guy, wow, what a wild card that would throw into this whole game here. So we totally think it's important, the new insights that were given on Frieza's plan. Now I kind of want to know, how can he really do that? I'm waiting for the moment where they start to tell us how powerful these Super Dragon Balls are, so we start to understand what is the possibilities here.
Yeah, I feel like that might happen when we're getting closer to the final people, because then it's going to become really clear, like, okay, now these are the guys that are going to win the Dragon Balls. What is the potential of what they can do? I mean, there's going to probably be a lot of talk about it more towards the end, and hopefully we'll get more insight on how powerful these really are.
So leave us your thoughts on that. How powerful do you think the Super Dragon Balls are? What do you think their limitations are? Are they limited in their power? What can be done and can't be done? Please leave us your thoughts, your comments below on those things. Again, like and subscribe. Thank you guys for sticking with us. This is Vinny.
And this is Joe.
Until next time.